this here is what it is all about. And this is what is going to boil down to separating the men from the boys. That's one for you. You can just borrow that. We'll see if he can hold his chili.
Thanks, man. Appreciate your support.
All right, but we'll keep it till the end of the interview, yeah? I don't want you to be running away from me before we get all the bases covered.
Yep.
Okay, first let's talk about Groupon. You set up a company that was later acquired by Groupon, yeah?
Yep.
Which was called GroupsMore, right?
Yep.
Okay, tell us about that journey and what were the key challenges, because we've never had anything like that in Malaysia before.
Yep.
So what made you, what gave you the confidence to make Malaysians say, okay, I buy into this?
Yep. So maybe I'll start with sharing how the internet journey started for myself.
Uh-huh.
So we started this company called YouthAsia. Yeah. So basically, like, we didn't really have much of a business model. Yeah. We knew that we just wanted to work with smart young people. Mm-hmm. We wanted to build internet businesses across Asia. So that was the fundamentals of YouthAsia. And as we went along, we started off as being very inventive. Yeah. Looking at what are the challenges that people are facing and how we could bring smart people, young people, smart people together to actually solve these problems.
Uh-huh.
So we actually built a couple of internet-related platforms, to solve different challenges. For example, we found out that it was very difficult to actually conduct surveys, among young people. Yeah, as in, like, it takes weeks to actually get the questions out, to get respondents, to key the data, and so on. So we started like an online survey company. So that was one of the very first ideas that we had, where we incentivize people online to do surveys, and we could profile them. And what we could do is that compared to what research agencies could do in weeks, we could do it in a couple of hours. So that was like some of the first, that was the first ideas that we executed. So we executed like different ideas across the 3-4 years. And we realized that it was very difficult to scale new inventive ideas.
Uh-huh.
So we started to look at what the world was doing, yeah, and what was the world producing. And when we're looking at different e-commerce companies or shopping companies in the US, we found there were hundreds of different models that was available. Mm-hmm. Yeah? And Groupon was one of those models that we identified. We felt that has the highest chance of succeeding if we were to localize it and to launch it here in Malaysia. So within 3 months, we quickly built up the site. We got 10-15 merchants together, and we put out our first deal. So that was. So I think the first week was really the test of the idea. To
right.
see
What was the first? Do you remember what the first deals were when you put out?
Yep. So the first deal was actually a peekaboo hair salon haircut deal. I think it was like 18 ringgit instead of 45 ringgit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So. We expected to sell maybe like 20-30 vouchers, but the first deal sold 200 over vouchers.
Oh, wow, okay.
So that was a sign to us that, hey, we've got something good going on here.
How did you communicate the existence of this scheme?
Yeah. So the team, the GroupsMore team, when we started, there was 8 of us. Yeah. What we did was that we bought a few vouchers ourselves. So we bought 10-20 vouchers by ourselves, and then we started to tell our friends. We say, hey, we've got. Peekaboo is one of the top hair salons in KL. Yeah. And we started to tell our friends, and our friends told their friends. And eventually, at the end of the day, we have a few hundred people sharing it on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
And on
Just
Twitter.
like that?
Yeah, just like that.
Brilliant. Okay.
On the first day itself. So that's when we felt that, okay, this model has got some potential here in Malaysia.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and we started to scale it up really fast. Within 3-4 months, we were partnering with hundreds of merchants. And that's when we had Groupon knocking on our doors to where they were keen to actually bring it to the next level. Yeah, so I think the main thing that struck it for us was that they had ambition to help us to build this into a national brand, into a household brand name that people would buy and would use every day. So that was something that excited us, and that was where the collaboration happened really quickly. So within weeks, we formalized a partnership and we got acquired by Groupon.
Right, I see. Going back to the early stages again, so how does it work? How is it that you get to offer 18 ringgit haircuts as opposed to 45 ringgit?
Yep. So it took quite a bit of convincing the merchants because they've never seen or heard of something like that in Malaysia. So we had to use references from other countries to show them that top hair salons and like top merchants in different countries were also doing this. Yeah, we're also using this as a good marketing platform. So I'd say that it was. I think we're really fortunate that the merchants trusted us to try it out in the first place. But once we had the first 5-10 deals going, we had really good case studies, I think the rest is history.
And how long did it take before it became apparent to most of the merchants out there that this model works in Malaysia? And how did you communicate it to them?
I would say that till today, it's still a long-term education process. I think the case studies help to share with the merchants what we have done with previous merchants. But end of the day, every Groupon deal, to some extent, on a consumer standpoint, if you look at it, it is it's just a deal. Or it's an offer to a spa or to a restaurant. But on the merchant standpoint, it's actually a marketing program for their business. So every deal on Groupon is actually customized for the merchant.
Right. Okay.
So we use case studies as tools to learn and also to share with our merchants and to brainstorm with them new ways of how we can actually get them on Groupon and help them succeed as a business.
Right, I see. So talk to us about the acquisition from Groupon then. Or rather by Groupon.
Yeah, it was the first time that I personally went through a negotiation and acquisition.
Did you jump up and down in the office when you?
I was pretty nervous that that we were signing on to something that was right. Because I've never done it before, so I didn't know what to expect. And right in a sense of we're doing the right thing for our team and for the founding members of the company. So I would say that it was beyond our expectations after the acquisition in terms in terms of the support that we got, in terms of how we grew in Malaysia itself. So I'd say that it was more nervous than actually excited and or jumping up and down. So yeah.
So you were nervous, yeah?
Yeah, I think it was more. Yeah. It was more of
Okay.
that, yeah.
And then so right now, Groupon Malaysia, from that 10 to 15 merchants, what's the breadth and width of the operations right now?
So we work with a few thousand merchants every month, on different programs and different sort of deals that we structure for them. And today we have about 2 million subscribers that are customers of Groupon. They are Malaysians. Yeah, so when we before we got acquired, we only had 50,000 subscribers. So we've grown like 40-fold since then.
Well, let me put it in a different perspective, dude. 2 million in a country that has a population of about 30 million is what, 8% of the population?
Yeah.
8% of the population of this country subscribes to what you're doing. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's right.
Goosebumps. All right, we have to take another short break right now and have more glasses of water before we take the plunge. Stay with us on In Person.